Reading books is such a valuable activity for both you and your child. It's an opportunity for some calm, quiet time. It's an opportunity to get close and build a stronger bond with that closeness. And it's also an opportunity for language. So using language that's written in books, that's possibly language that you wouldn't use in your own day-to-day conversation. My children in particular used to love The Famous Five, and that's written quite a long time ago, and some of the words used in those stories and the phrases are not something that's used in everyday language today. But through them listening repeatedly to The Famous Five, I would read them. They had audio CDs of the Famous Five stories, which they loved going and listening to. I would highly recommend introducing your child, if you haven't already, to story CDs, MP3 files with story audios on. It's a great opportunity to practice listening in a different format. But it's also an opportunity for them to go and have some quiet time on their own if they choose to, and just do a quiet activity of listening to a story read by somebody else other than yourself. You may already be reading stories at bedtime, but during this week, I would like you to try and find an opportunity each day for some quiet time to read a book together. Now, you may have a child that isn't interested in sitting and listening to you read a story because they're so active, because they want to be pushing their vehicles around the floor, banging pans and all those kinds of things, which is great. We need them making noises, we need them being active physically, but also it's an opportunity for you to have a bit of peace and quiet as well if you sit together. So if you have a child that's maybe not quite so keen to come and sit with you and listen to a story, let them carry on with what they're doing, and like you to try and find a soft toy if you have one. So I'm going to use Ted today, and I'm going to read my youngest's favourite story. When he was 3 years old, he absolutely loved this story, and I probably have read it at least 1,000 times. By the time he was three and a half, I would be able to read the first couple of lines on each page, and he would finish the page himself from memory. It's a rhyming book, so you'll hear the familiarity in the rhyming, and that's what he latched onto. He loved the familiarity, he loved the story, he loves cats now, and just a really nice book. And books by this author are really good books to be using, but you could choose any book, whatever your child is interested in. Find a nice book, find a quiet corner, take your soft toy, and just quietly begin reading the story to your soft toy and interacting. So don't just read the words on the page, have a conversation about the story with your soft toy, and you'll find that slowly but surely your child will just be taking in exactly what's going on and start to think, I think I might be missing out on something here. And they might stop what they're doing and not come over, but they probably will start listening. And by just doing this each day, you'll gradually encourage them to want to come and sit with you and join in. Because whilst that's a soft toy to us, to a child's vast imagination, that's another person. So we can use that to our advantage. So here we go. Slinky Malinky. Slinky Malinky was blacker than black, a stalking and lurking adventurous cat. He had bright yellow eyes, a warbling wail, and a kink at the end of his very long tail. Look at his tail, Ted. It comes right up above the fence. I think he's looking a bit cheeky in that picture, do you, Ted? I think he might be up to something. He was cheeky and cheerful, friendly and fun. He'd chase after leaves and he'd roll in the sun. Oh, I miss the sun, Ted. Do you, now that autumn's here? You can see in the picture, look, it's autumn there, because all the leaves have fallen off the tree. So it must be the end of summer now, and all the leaves are falling to the ground. But at night, he was wicked and fiendish and sly. Through moonlight and shadow, he'd prowl and he'd pry. Ted, I wonder where he's going. Do you think he might be a bit naughty? So, have fun this week. As I said before, try and find an occasion in each day to just take a book, and if your child is willing to sit with you and read the book, don't just read the words on the page, have a bit of interaction. And if your child isn't happy to come and sit and have the story read with you, use a soft toy. Certainly don't force them to come and read the story with you. Just read it to the soft toy, and I'm sure that over the days, you do that each day and have a conversation with your soft toy, whichever it is, as I did with Ted whilst I was reading the book, you'll slowly but surely see that they will want to come and join in and not miss out.